Any of you really like fashion? Those of you that are Any of you really like fashion? Those of you that are watching right now live and watching later, you are in for a treat because I am with a fashion designer. Isn't that what most girls dream of becoming? That's what I thought I'd grow up to be. And I used to draw clothes, and you actually get to draw clothes and make clothes and get famous people to wear your clothes. Winnie, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Jessica. It's an honor.
Were you a kid that was always like, I'm going to grow up to be a fashion designer? Or how did you become what you are?
Honestly, I wasn't any of the kids that was drawing dresses. It's so weird. I never drew dresses like that because I guess because I grew up with my big brother, I I was more into boy stuff, climbing trees, playing in the dark, and all these things that have nothing to do with fashion. So no, I didn't draw nothing. I don't have any scrapbook from my childhood that I can be like, oh, that dress. Let me revisit the sketch. No.
So we can't sell your sketches for millions of euros. What a shame.
No. What a shame for me too.
You should fake one. Just like draw all these like crappy looking things. And be like,
with my left hand.
And then look what she turned into. All the, good habits turn into the dreams you want. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I've invited you.
But now you said it out loud, so I can undo it.
That's true. Off the air. So what kind of a kid were you, and how did you how do you get into fashion? I know like teenage girls, I think around the world, most of them are into it, but probably not as much as you. So tell me that story.
Well, growing up, I really wanted to be a lawyer. I really did. It's one of the things that I wanted to be. But life happens, and then mom opens up a shop and she's having clothes there, and I'm always there helping her to dress the mannequins and everything. And it just started to get to me like I don't like it the way mom is dressing them. Whenever I come, I have to change. I'm like, no, like I have to criticize him there. And she just gave up and told me, you know what? It seems you like this better than I do, and you know what you're doing, so take over. And that's how I started dressing the mannequins. I think by that time I was around 14, 13, I think. Yeah. So I was just dressing the mannequins and, just playing dress up, basically.
You're so lucky because we just got to play with mini Barbies, but you get to have like real mannequins, huge people that you get to dress up.
Yeah, human size, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Exactly, yeah.
And when did?
Sorry.
No, continue, please.
Oh, and so that is where I basically started to get into fashion, like as much as I can remember. That is where I started to get into fashion, dressing mannequins and going with mom when she was going to the wholesalers to get different restock and stuff like that. I used to go with her and we select stuff together, and she would ask me, what do you think about this? Do you like this? And I would just give my honest opinion, and we pick stuff up and take them to the shop. And I dress the mannequins up, combine different colors and prints and stuff. And that is where really it started, yeah.
Did your mother also sew or design anything, or she was just buying pre-made things?
She was buying pre-made things, but history tells me that my grandma used to love sewing. Yeah. And one of my aunties as well is into fashion. So could it be DNA?
Blood, huh?
It has to be blood. Yeah.
But I have no idea, so I'm going to have some like ignorant questions. But when you think of like music in Africa, a lot of people say the Congolese do really great music. When you say fashion in Africa, is there a country that pops up as the leaders in the fashion? Like the Italians for us?
I will go South Africa.
Okay.
I'll go South Africa. Yeah, they have a particular way that they put African prints in such a high fashion way. And I love that. Yeah. Like they
Okay.
could make something all in African print and it will still look so cool.
Mm.
And I don't know how they do that, but they do that.
So you combined, I suppose, if you're saying that now.
Yeah,
What your style?
yeah.
Did you make what you're wearing? Is that one of yours?
Oh no, no, this one in particular, no. Oh, what a shame.
Oh no, you're like
No.
H&M. Gosh, but do fashion designers like? I consider myself a little bit of an artist, and I know lots of artist friends. And when they take their art and they like sell or they work for like a big company, they feel like they're selling out because they can't produce what they love anymore. So I'm just wondering, do fashion designers like you like dream about like working for H&M or Calvin Klein one day, or is it just like no, that's not where I would want to be? Is that a sellout, or I don't know?
This is all up to me.
Sure.
No, no. I feel like if I were to work for a fashion brand, I'll have to just bury my DNA and follow theirs. Now, the question is, if you give me someone's DNA, can I execute it? That is a question that I cannot answer. So I don't know whether I could really love to step into that role. And besides, right now, with the way I see fashion going, and it's more, for me, it's more of a sustainable way to do stuff. And I cannot see how it can work with H&M, Zara, or Inditex in general, you know, because you have to produce a new collection every week, every week, every week.
Every
I don't
week?
know which, yes. That is why when you go to the shops and
Yeah.
after like a couple of weeks, whatever you saw last week is not there, because they
Yeah.
have to keep renewing their work. That
Okay.
is too much.
So let's talk about fashion and sustainability, because I've been buying secondhand clothes since I was like a teenager, and I can't even, and I know that designing clothes takes so much water and it's so wasteful for new clothes. Like it makes me so angry when I think about it. And I'm just wondering, who gives a shit about this? Like, do you like, is that a big thing about Wine House? Is that your thing, or?
Honestly, it
Okay.
is, and it also comes down to the clients that you're working with. People
Yeah.
really want to know where your work is coming from. They don't want to just buy a dress and wear it. They want to ask you 20 million questions, and you need to have receipts for those 20 million questions, you know. So there is a point where I feel like it's necessary for every designer to understand how their work is going into the world and how they are putting it out. You know, you cannot just produce 20 million pieces of the same t-shirt just because you can and you have the money, because the clients are going to ask you, especially for us that do stuff that is a little bit at a pricier end. People that are paying that money, they want to know, you know, they want to ask you, this fabric, is it a sustainable fabric? Where did you buy it? How much they want to know all of this stuff. They want to know, is it cotton? If it's cotton, how much percentage? If it's mixed, with what fabric? Which, you know, they want to know all of these things, you know. Yes.
I
So yes, as Wyne
Wow.
Kirabo, it's a must. We have to be sustainable in that sense. We have to know what we're putting on our clients' bodies. Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm. It's like there's like, I just had a vision of like conscious shopping and unconscious, what the hell are we putting on our body? So it just like gave me an images of like the cream, you know, and the makeup and like all the stuff that we put on our bodies and in our bodies. And when we don't ask questions about it, and then you have obviously a different group of people that are concerned about what they put on their body. And could I ask if is it a more fashion vanity thing, or do you really think that there's a growing movement of people that really want sustainable fashion and they truly care about it? Have you seen this growing in
Yeah.
yeah?
I think people in general are starting to get way more involved in understanding what they're putting into their bodies. Just the
Yeah.
way it's working in food and cosmetics, it's the same thing that is happening in fashion. For instance, you like to go doing your thrifting. There are a lot of people now that are going into that direction because they feel like, you know what, if I cannot afford a high-end brand or a mid-end brand, because the salary is what it is. You cannot just decide like, oh yeah, I earn 1,500, but I'm gonna buy a 500 euro pair of jeans. You cannot do that. So what are the people doing? They're going to the second-hand shop, but at least
Mhm.
what is happening is that they're giving life to what is already there. They're not just consuming new stuff just to put out
Mhm.
in a
Mhm.
couple of months. So yes, people are getting super cautious about what they're consuming, and the movement of sustainability is actually growing so much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that a European trend, a Spanish trend, or have you seen that in Uganda as well? Is this worldwide, or is that too hopeful?
It is right here in between. It is
Mm.
hopeful, yes, but however, for instance, in Uganda, one of the things that has been happening there is that people have been wearing a lot of secondhand. I remember as a kid, we always were going to secondhand places to look for clothes. Secondly, I think I may be wrong, but majority of the African countries, we have a habit of custom-made clothes. Of you
Yeah.
go to the tailor of the
Mm.
village and they take your measurements and they make your dress and it's yours. So you are not buying 20 million dresses because you have 100 bazillion options. You have your little beautiful dress made
Yeah.
out of an African print, which was printed on the shores of one village in Tanzania, and
Mhm.
you know that is where they made your fabric. You know it. you know so yes, in that sense, Uganda, in my opinion, has been more on the road of sustainability.
Mhm.
And I see that now in the Western world or in the Eastern world, people are starting to also get involved in it. And it's a beauty to see. Yeah.
Mm. I was just in
Mhm.
Nigeria, and I wanted to put this in my hair, but I was like, I just don't know how to do it without my Nigerian sister with me, right? Like, and I'm like, how can I wear this if I don't know how to put it in my hair? So I was like,
You,
I want
you
to
should have
show,
told me.
yes. And the pride and the beauty in these, Nigeria has a lot of tribes, right? And so when they dressed up, man, it was like the most, all I could say was like, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I was just complimenting everything I saw. It was so beautiful compared to like my blue dress that I was wearing. Like I was so boring. It was horrifying. Right. Um, and the pride of the colors and the roots of where it comes from. It's like, I don't think anyone in Europe ever wears anything and they're just like, yeah, like this is me. This fits my butt, my boobs. This is me. I own this dress. This is me. We're just like, wah, wah, H&M. I don't get
Yeah.
to find my clothes. Like I feel like there's such a different energy to clothes and culture in the two, well, different
True.
worlds. Right?
Very true. Very, very true. It's exactly that. It's because you go and you create your dress with your tailor. So when it's given to you, it's for you. It's literally made for you. It's a Jessica dress. It has nothing to do with Winnie, you know? Like you could walk around and you would not find your dress with anyone unless
Wow.
someone loves your design and goes tells their tailor, "Oh, I love that dress. Make that very dress." But also the option is that they will not find it in the fabric that you have it in.
Sure.
So there is always these differences that keep on happening. That is beautiful, yeah. Yeah.
So my question is, how do you build up in like I've been here 9 years, you've been here 8 years. How do you build up a successful fashion business in 8 years in this country as a non-Spanish, right? Like what habits did you take that, well, I got nothing as successful as you got going on, right? Like how did you create that and what habits did you have? What mindset do you have and what are you doing daily that maybe could inspire other people to go towards their dreams?
Yeah. Well, honestly, the first thing that I did was to just tell myself, Winnie, this is what you want. And unless you're 100% sure that this is what you want, do not reveal your dream to the world.
Mm.
Because unfortunately, as a dream bearer, when you dream something, you see all the little bits and bobs about your dream, but the
Mhm.
other people don't see it. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, sometimes it's our family. I'm sorry, but it's true. They're the ones that protect us the most. And sometimes they protect us from success or from our dreams, because they have their fears. They're like, oh no, my little girl is going to get hurt if she gets herself involved in this, or my little sister or my little brother, all of these things. So before you have your dream nailed down and the corners you want to go with it, my advice is first work on it and then share it and say, hey, mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever you want to talk with, this is my dream. And I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm sharing my dream. I'm telling you, I need your support. I'm not telling you, what do you think? Because what happens is when we share our dreams with the what do you think mentality, the people that love us, immediately it's like, click, protect. No. Because you see, even the other one tried to do a business and it failed. And then you saw, the daughter of so-and-so, oof, bad news. So first, protect your dream, work on it, know that it's valid, at least convince yourself it's valid before you convince anyone else. There is no one that is going to agree with you unless you agree with you. So first work on it and then share it in a sense of, I need your support. This is what I want to do. Can you support me? Because at the end of the day, everyone that is quote unquote successful, depending on who is saying it, has a support system. And the reason anyone that can support you better than the people that know you to the core, and if those people are against the dream, it's even harder, because probably, for instance, if you're African, your parents will be like, you need to get a real job, like, what are you doing? You're passing time, you're just having a hobby. But when you sell it to them like, hey, this is it, I need your support.
Okay.
Then they look at you in a more mature way of, this person knows what they are going to do. So, okay, how can we help? That is the first step. If that step is successful, you're ready to go.
And can I presume that not your whole family, all your brothers and sisters, not everyone is in Barcelona with you, or were you lucky enough to have that family support close to you as you were building your business?
Unfortunately, I don't have my family close to me because they are all in Uganda. But with my partner and his family have also been super supportive. The friends I've made here, everyone, my family back home, they are also super supportive. Every time they call and they're like, where do you want us to, source you any fabrics? Is anyone coming? What do you want us to bring? So that is literally, that's the energy you have to create. And they have to see it that you want it, not like you're doubting it. Imagine your daughter came to you and said, guess what? I know you paid for me and I went to university, but I think I could be good at making t-shirts. You're like, go buy. Someone, please, can you set up the table because it's time for dinner? That's where you take your mind. So if they do not tell it to you like, mom, this is what I want to do and I need your support. I was thinking about it and my steps are A, B, C, D. And mom will look at you and be like, oh, okay, she's serious. Let's see.
So how did you take, from my experience, I have a big dream too, and I share it with like some insecurity to people, and then they add insecurity to my story, and it makes me worse. And so what you're saying is really hitting me, that like I see my dream and I need to go for it and work at it and ask for the support. But how do you overcome, or was it something in your childhood, or did you read some books on it, or is it just in your blood, just like fashion is, to believe in yourself? That's the hardest part of building a business, I think, is like believing that you can do that. So how did you develop that habit of believing in yourself?
That I don't know how I developed that. I honestly think that I just discovered a thing that I wanted and I worked on it. That is, if you have to go to study or do some reading or something like that, put yourself in a position that makes you a winner in a way, because if you do not have knowledge of how to do something, I don't know how you are supposed to succeed at it. So if you go and learn, read stuff and stuff like that, I'm sure you will get there. You will get there, because at the end of the day, it's that confidence. Because at the end of university does not teach you how to be anything. It just gives you the confidence to go ahead and do that thing, you know? So if you take it with that mentality of, I have the skill and I know I'm scared. Trust me, I'm always scared. With every single dress that I put out, I'm always scared. But it's the point of okay. I think I even shared with one of my friends, like, honestly, there are some dresses that I've made that when I see them and you tell me, can you make this dress? I'll be like, no, I cannot. No. But I'm the one that made that dress, you know? So it's more a thing of, because I already have the confidence of, let me try it, you know? So when you have that mentality of, let me try it, because you already have the background of, I know how to do this and this. So probably if I do like this and like that and like that, I will overcome that. So that's my opinion on that. Yeah.
It seems it's nothing mystical. It's really study it, try it, and then when you feel nervous, think back to that you've studied it and you've done it before and you can do it again. So it's a very practical mindset, I would say, that you have going on.
100%. 100%.
That's replicable. That's, you know, I think that we always get hard on people when we're like, you want to be that? Like, you are nothing like that person. You have no skills to that. And that's what we call a dreamer. But it's a very different thing than someone who's studied whatever it might be, and then say they're going to do it, they're going to do it, they become an expert in it, and then they're going to do it more, and you're like, well, now it's easy to support you. So I suppose to anyone who's like, oh, I have a dream that seems really far away, well, learn more about it. Like, that's the obvious thing. If you're not getting support from people, maybe get better at it or get better friends. I don't know which stage people are at, right? But
100%. Because honestly, like, the clear example here for the young people that are living in Spain, there is one kind of famous girl here, the singer Rosalia. She went through music school, but her background is not the most amazing background. She doesn't come from the richest background, but because she went through vocal training and all of this, by the time she launched herself, she was ready. She was ready. It's not because there were no big musicians, they were there, but because she was ready for that world of music, she could step up, you know? So at the end of the day, you learn, and the lessons that you've learned are the ones that give you the energy to keep going, to attack, to say the least.
It's just so obvious. Like, when I hear you talking, you just talk in such like, not in an obvious way, but just like in a practical, straightforward. Yeah, she went to vocal school. If you want to be a singer, you have to go practice your vocals. If you want to design clothes, you have to learn how to make sleeves. If you want to learn how to be a good professional speaker, you have to learn how to use your voice, your body. Like that's what my dream is. So I'm being very selfish. I'm doing these interviews because I want to know how to live a thriving life, and I'm collecting tons of people in Barcelona and around Europe, and a couple of my Nigerian friends came on too, and we're talking about the habits that need to shift if you want to make the world a better, safer place for everyone, right? So that everyone can like feel good about being them. So your words are just perfect for my concept of shift. Go learn it. It's pretty simple. Believe in yourself and remind yourself, right?
Yeah, glad to share. But you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing. I've been checking out your work, and you're killing it.
I'm killing it.
Yeah. It's just that the people have not yet seen it. But wait, because the ones who have seen it, I have seen it, and I'm like, she got it.
She got it.
She got it.
Thank you. To be honest, after my Nigeria time, I was like, every time I go on stage, I want to wear an African design. And I'm going on an Asian tour, so it doesn't quite fit. But like when I'm in the European, like African, Middle Eastern tour, I'm like, I'm gonna call you lady, because I want to like a beautiful mix of blue, and then like a touch of the African, and like something in my hair, and like I just don't want to be boring. I want to be internationally beautiful. So I think one day, I know you've dressed some movie stars, so that must have been a big highlight of your career. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a dream to see that people appreciate the work that you're putting out. It's always a
Mhm.
dream because sometimes when you are starting out, it's your family or it's your friends that are supporting, and you do not really know if they're doing it because they are trying to hold you up, like, don't worry, you got it, or they are like, actually, you're good, because imagine your mom says, I love you. You're like, yeah, you're my mom. Of course, you love me. You do not take it really at heart. It's stupid, but it's true. And then when someone else asks you for any of your work, you're like, oh my God, I actually could be good, you know? And like that, and you just keep on pushing. Is exactly what I was telling you, is to just being persistent and just facing every single day,
Mhm.
like the way your client would face it, especially if you're like a designer. If you're designing streetwear, you have to
Yeah.
be familiar with streetwear. You have to wear your streetwears every day, at
Oh.
least somehow, or maybe it's in your shoes or maybe it's in your belt, but you have to incorporate your lifestyle in a way to support the way you will eventually design, because you cannot
Mm.
be like, oh, I want to be a fashion designer, but I know what to do. I'm going to hang out with runners. No, you're not going to get any inspiration from that. Well, maybe you want to design sportswear, but if not, you have no business being there.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, it's to just
Hmm.
surround yourself with the things that will push you to the direction that you want to be in. And that sometimes means the way you live your life on a daily, you know?
And for me, when you got, I'm sorry, I don't know who the famous person was that you mentioned. I wasn't sure if she's a famous actress. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Uh,
she is
yeah,
someone would say in the African community,
yeah,
she is a famous actress, but she is,
yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Great. So my idea is like until you got her like affirming that you're fantastic at what you do,
Hmm.
was it hard to imagine that someone would value it so much? And was that like a game changer for you? Like, what is outer validation? Is it something we should be, I don't want to use the word chasing, but is it something that we should be really looking forward to because it has the power to change how we see ourselves? Or even outer validation, if you don't believe it yourself, it doesn't count. What would you share about that?
I mean, I agree that if you do not believe it, it doesn't matter how many people are going to say, oh yeah, you're good at it. You will not believe it. You will need more people to say it and more people to say it. Like you will need it like almost every day. It's like a shot, you know? However, when you know what you're chasing,
Mm-hmm.
the other people are just an addition to what you already know. Like I know,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, anyone that went to uni for fashion with me, they'll tell you that when we were asked, who like where do you see your brand if you ever make a brand, because of course some people don't want to make a brand, they just want to go design for someone and just be under a certain house. But if you want to, who do you see your client being, and all of this stuff. And I remember boldly saying, well, I want people that are in the limelight to wear my clothes, because I do not want to design a t-shirt. I want to design an extravagant dress, and I'm not going to put it on uh, my neighbor down the street. She doesn't want to wear that. But I know, for instance, a movie actress, a singer, a performer, someone in the arts industry would enjoy to wear my dress. And then from there, I can edit it down and make it wearable for someone else that is not at that level. But when I'm in my designing moment, I want to design for that person. And then we shall edit. We shall edit and make simple dress and a simple jacket with its touch of Wyne Kirabo to the person that wants something not as extravagant, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So she coming in was not to validate, it did not validate really how I
Okay.
felt about my work. It really
Yeah.
just gave me a push. It was like me recharging my phone because I have to go out of the house. And it's like, I need you at 100%. But it wasn't oh yeah, she gave me a phone. No, I had the phone. And when she
Yeah.
charged it, it was like, Winnie, keep going. You can do it. Basically
Okay.
that's what it was. Yeah.
well, there's a saying, you can't fill a bucket with holes in it. So I had an ex-boyfriend tell me that, and I broke up with him. I was like, you think I have holes in me? And I did. And he was wise and he knew it, and he said it in a gentle way, but I was too young to realize that his love, his affirmation wasn't going to fix that self-dislike that I had. I had to go like meditate and therapeutize it and don't get it out of my system, right? And now it's like, now when someone tells you when someone tells me they love me, I believe them. Whereas 5 years ago, I just didn't believe it. So I guess it's like, once you know, now you know, right? Isn't that when you know, you know.
Say, when you know, you know. If you know, you know. That's it. Yeah.
Great. Well, and now I know more about you and the people listening. Anoe and Charles and Gerard are in the chat box saying, we love you, and great conversation. And Charles Greer, he says hi as well. So it's been inspiring. Thank you very much. An honor to have someone do, because fashion's not an easy industry. It's like an artist, they don't call them starving artists for nothing. Like, to follow your dream and to create your art and build a business out of it is way more difficult than like getting an MBA and then just like working for a company and great, your success. Like it's nothing to do with each other. So when we see artists that are doing well, I really want to know, like, how do you do it? And so you really gave the aspiring artists some great ideas and some very practical ideas. So
I'm glad I could help in any way possible.
Great.
Honestly.
Well, it's Saturday night in rainy Barcelona. I hope you have a nice night. I'm gonna do nothing in my cozy little house here as I watch them.
Me too.
Okay. Well, we'll see each other at another event. I'll see you.
All right then.
Okay. Bye, Winnie.
Okay, Jessica. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.